Tom Downey here for the Cowboys Report by Chat Sports, and we're taking a look at the post-draft winners and losers, my 10 biggest on each side of things here following the Cowboys draft picks. Now, very important, I'm not talking specifically about the draft picks. We'll go through them again one time here, but that was more of our draft grades. Instead, it's focused on what the impact was of taking guys like Tyler Smith in the first round, D. Williams, who he wants to go by now out of Ole Miss, the edge rusher, Jalen Tolbert from South Alabama, Jake Ferguson, Matt Waletzko, Deron Bland, Damone Clark, John Ridgway, and, of course, also Devin Harper in the 6th round. We're not focused in on these picks. Rather, we're focused instead on who the already on the roster winners and losers were from that standpoint. So we'll do 5 winners and 5 losers. Even democracy 50-50 split style here. Beginning with, I think, one of the bigger winners, Tyler Biadasz, the center. The Cowboys, if we're being honest about the level of investment made, didn't really bring in competition. I know some of you like Alec Lindstrom, some like Matt Farniok, but the Cowboys did not add any big-name centers. They appear to be ready to roll with Tyler Biadasz and potentially allow guys like Matt Farniok, James Empey, the BYU UDFA pickup, and Alec Lindstrom to fight and compete with Biadasz. Could one of those guys shock and win the job? Sure, but they're all behind Biadasz. He should be viewed as your heavy favorite to win that starting center job. No major competition, but more than last year, I guess, brought in for Biadasz. So I think the answer here is yes. I believe come week 1, barring injury, Tyler Biadasz will be starting at center, hopefully earning the Tyler Biadasz nickname. But what do you think? Y for yes or N for no? Specifically for the draft, Kelvin Joseph is a post-draft winner. Despite all of the off-the-field stuff that we've discussed many a time here on the Cowboys Report that Joseph is facing, the Cowboys did not add a corner until the 5th round, despite the legal issues that Joseph is currently facing at this point. Now, that was Deron Bland. That was the pickup the Cowboys added, which means Joseph is still your number 4 guy with a chance, if he can keep his head on straight, not find himself in any more major legal problems, to take over as CB2 or CB3, depending on how you rotate your guys out there. So Joseph is still, it would appear to me, based on the Cowboys' actions, a key piece of this team moving forward. Now, who was the Cowboys' biggest post-draft winner? We'll start positive for the pinned comment on today's video. So if the ad break comes here, take advantage of it. Who was the Cowboys' biggest post-draft winner? Donovan Wilson next up here as we look at some of the other winners at the defensive back position. The Cowboys did not, despite allegedly having Lewis Seen as their highest graded player on their big board, allegedly. Now, Wilson is still your number 3 safety for a team that is going to rotate safeties. Jaron Kearse will still be involved as almost a hybrid safety linebacker. Dallas will utilize big safety packages. Is Israel Mukuamu ready to start at safety, play a big role? I don't think so. I think you keep him on the roster there. But I think Wilson is still in a good spot to make an impact this year. I also feel the exact same way about Jabril Cox. As I've said before, I love Cox. I think he's a very high upside player for this Cowboys organization. He is in position to play a borderline starting role at linebacker. The Cowboys did draft 2 of them. So they're going, wait, what, Tom? Seriously? Yes, they did. But remember, Devin Harper was a 6th-round pick. That is a backup special teams type of draft pick investment. Damone Clark, I don't know if he's going to play at all this year, and I think will hopefully make a bigger impact in 2023, allowing Jabril Cox to potentially push Leighton Vander Esch aside when the Cowboys only go with 2 linebackers if we are including Micah Parsons / Jaron Kearse at one of those 2 spots there. The other guys, Aaron Hansford, Story Jackson, those are guys fighting for special teams role. Jabril Cox is primed to, at minimum, be linebacker 3 on this roster. We're also on Rumble, and we had a bet, me and Marshall Green, who would have more followers at the end of the draft. And he ended up beating us up pretty bad. We now trail by 300. But I was able to double down. So help me not lose any more money. Go support us on Rumble. It's free, rumble.com/CowboysTV. And you get more free and uncensored videos. So go follow us right now at rumble.com/CowboysTV. One more winner, Rico Dowdle. The Cowboys added one UDFA running back and then cut another guy who could make your roster in Shewo Olanalua. Dowdle flashed last year before his preseason hip injury. And although I'm sure there are those who like Ryan Nall and like Jaquan Hardy and like Nick Ralston and like Malik Davis and Aaron Champklin, Rico Dowdle pretty clearly, I think, is your favorite to be the running back 3 on this roster because I think the Cowboys will carry one. He could make a big impact on special teams. So the 5 winners here, Tyler Biadasz, Kelvin Joseph, Donovan Wilson, Jabril Cox, and Rico Dowdle. Several others you could have gone in there with the winner's side, but I wanted to focus in on just my top 5. Before we get to the losers, grade the Cowboys offseason so far. A, B, C, D, or F. Do you like or do you hate what the Cowboys have done at this point? Sound off in the comments section. First loser, Terrell Basham, or as producer Jeremy said in my ear, loser. Unfortunately for Basham, I feel like a dick for doing that. Basham is going to fight for a roster spot. If you're watching, I'm sorry on that one, Terrell. There is cap savings, which we know Stephen Jones loves, if he is cut or traded. The drafting of D. Williams in particular, and with a premium round pick to go along with investment contract-wise in Tank Lawrence, Dorrance Armstrong, and draft pick investment in Chauncey Golston, those 4 are going to make your roster. Are the Cowboys going to carry 6 edges in Dante Fowler and Tarell Basham? I'm not so sure. Now, Fowler's contract is movable as well, but they'd save just as much or so by cutting Basham. So I would not rule out Basham being one and done in Dallas. That premium edge rusher investment is not ideal for Basham. When the Cowboys start to make cuts, we'll keep you guys in the loop. We will have videos every single day, even when other content creators might get to April or into June and July and go, I'm not going to do that. No. Daily videos here on the Cowboys Report. So subscribe right now. I think the biggest loser here is Connor McGovern, unfortunately. He is stuck as a backup. This team, for whatever reason, does not think he can play center. For the record, I would like to see that changed, but we've said that for 2 years now. So at a certain point, I have to see it before I assume it'll actually happen at long last. He's not going to play over Tyler Smith, I wouldn't expect. That'd be a bad outcome there for Tyler Smith. He's not going to play over Zach Martin barring injury. So could he be your backup swing guard? Sure, I'm fine with that. But being a starter? That doesn't seem to be a case at all for McGovern right now. Let's go to tight end. Sean McKeon, the former UDFA out of Michigan. And you can throw in Jeremy Sprinkle as well, maybe even Dalton Schultz as a tight end loser here. McKeon, I was not impressed by last year. He made the roster as a UDFA, but Jake Ferguson should pass him fairly quickly. And there's a lot of competition for tight end 3/4, especially if we include guys like Nick Ralston there, with Jeremy Sprinkle, Ian Bunting, Peyton Hendershot. Is it a big list of names? No, but the Cowboys have invested a hell of a lot more in Ferguson than they did in Sean McKeon, which makes me think McKeon is maybe tight end 3 at best, unless your rookies don't impress very well. Who was the Cowboys' biggest post-draft loser? Was it McGovern, Basham, or somebody else altogether? I want you guys to sound off for me in the comments section. Biggest loser for the Cowboys roster, or you can go coaching or ownership, whatever, after the draft. From Luke Gifford, now next up here at linebacker, we mentioned Jabril Cox being a winner. Not so fast, though, on Gifford. I see 3 roster locks at the linebacker spot if we include Micah Parsons there as his edge hybrid linebacker guy. Gifford's not one of those. It's LVE, Jabril Cox and Parsons, Gifford will fight for a roster spot with Damone Clark, who might be a pup list guy or an NFI list early on, I should say. Harper, the sixth-round pick from Oklahoma State, he's a factor there. Aaron Hansford, I liked him more than Luke Gifford coming out. There's some traits there. Same with Harper. Story Jackson. So Gifford is not a roster lock this year for the Cowboys. Finally, Simi Fehoko, the fifth-round pick who didn't really play at all last year for the Cowboys. He was basically a roster stash for Dallas. Let's play the numbers game here. CeeDee Lamb, of course, is not going anywhere. Jalen Tolbert is not going anywhere. He's going to be, I think, your receiver 3 early on. James Washington was your off-season pickup. Now, Michael Gallup is probably not going to be out there in year 1 necessarily. But James Washington's contract was pretty much fully guaranteed. So those 4 are locks. And the issue for Fehoko is this. He does not help on special for week 1. Sorry, week 1 for Gallup. Excuse me, I misspeak there. You might not have Gallup for week 1, right? That frees up a spot. Noah Brown has special teams value. So Fehoko could make this roster, but with Washington, Tolbert, Gallup, Lamb all roster locks, and Brown helping on special teams unlike Fehoko, I think there's maybe 1 or 2 spots for TJ Vasher, Brandon Smith, plus those new UDFAs. So you can group Fehoko and Vasher in here. I think one of those guys does not make your active roster, potentially both of them, since the Cowboys still got to find a punt returner. Maybe Fehoko can fill that role. Otherwise, he's not a roster lock, despite me liking him quite a bit coming out of Stanford. So our post-draft winners and losers. And by the way, I think you could throw Nashawn Wright in the loser side because I think that's the guy. That's the job Deron Bland might be coming for in year 1. The winners: Tyler Biadasz, Kelvin Joseph, Donovan Wilson, Jabril Cox, and Rico Dowdle. The losers: Terrell Basham, Connor McGovern, Sean McKeon, Luke Gifford, and Simi Fehoko.